Hi all, today we will go through configurable resiliency capabilities provided for endpoints in WSO2 Microgateway. I'm Amadima Tararashi. I'm a software engineer at WSO2 API Manager team. It is extremely crucial to consider resiliency as all services inevitably prone to failures. Backend services might be unavailable, unreachable, or not responding due to hardware issues, network congestions, heavy traffic, and many more reasons. WSO2 Microgateway is providing very simple and effective mechanisms for handling such scenarios gracefully. We will talk about following topics to addressing this concern. Retry, timeouts, and circuit breaking. They can be defined using extension in OpenAPI specification for Microgateway 3.2.0 onwards. Now let's go deeper. There can be certain services which are extremely important, so the gateway as a proxy should retry connecting and getting a successful response even if the initial call has failed. For example, say the backend gives you an internal error code due to temporary resource unavailability. If retry configuration is defined for this endpoint, it will again send a request to the backend. This will reoccur according to this configuration. You can configure number of retry attempts, time duration between retries, backoff factor which will increase the retry interval exponentially, maximum interval time to set an upper bound to the retry interval, and status codes which should be considered as failures to trigger retries. Let's take a simple example. I'm using Simple Balena service as the backend for this demonstration. Let me start it. I have a simple API definition with this as the backend. Then I will define retry configuration. I'm setting the count to 1 and interval milliseconds to 50. Let me create a microgateway project with this API definition. Let's build it. If you are new to the microgateway, please make sure to check the quick start guide in the official documentation. Let's start the gateway with trace log enabled so we can see incoming and outgoing messages. Let's invoke the API now. As we can see, there are two calls being made to the backend. When the client invokes the API, it goes to the backend. It has returned internal server error, and gateway will retry again, and then now it is successful and client will receive the successful response. As we can see, backend also has two logs, one fails, one is successful. When microgateway connects with backend services, it might require handling scenarios where the backend might be unavailable due to load or a backend is taking a lot of time to respond. However, the system should not wait till the service responds infinitely or a long period of time, keeping resources busy. Therefore, endpoint timeout configuration is useful to handle such scenarios gracefully. I have a sample backend which takes more than 8 seconds to respond just to demonstrate the timeout configuration. Let's start it. Let's go to the API definition again and configure timeout configuration under the production endpoints. Set it to 7 seconds and let's copy the API definition again and rebuild the project. Let's start the gateway now with trace logs and let's invoke the API, and you can see the gateway has called the backend and now it's waiting for the response, and since it takes more than 7 seconds, it will give a timeout error. If you have many callers on an unavailable service, you may run out of resources, leading to cascading failures across the system. Now, circuit breaking comes to the rescue by handling downtime and slowness of services gracefully without exhausting resources, and help those services recover by reducing load. Let's take a look at how the circuit breaker pattern works. It has 3 states. Closed status is the normal scenario in which requests go through gateway to backend service and response comes through the gateway to the client. If the request has failed and the failure threshold has exceeded, then circuit goes to open state. When the circuit is in open state, gateway will return error response without connecting to the backend anymore. After waiting for some time, reset time will reach and the circuit goes to the half open state. It will now try whether the upstream server is now available. If this is successful, then circuit breaker will reset back to the normal state. Otherwise, it will go back to the open state. The following circuit breaker configuration can be provided using Advanced Endpoint Config extension in the API definition. Let's start the mock backend. Go to the API definition and provide circuit breaker configurations. I'm setting the reset time to 10 seconds. Copy the API definition and rebuild the project again. Let's restart the gateway and invoke the API. First call has failed with an internal server error. Then next call has not sent to the backend but responded from the gateway itself. After 10 seconds, a circuit breaker goes to half open state to retry the backend. Now it was successful and gateway reset to the normal state. I hope this video will help you. Thank you and have a good day.